No, 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 no. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Binance login. Where are my coins at? What is Bitcoin at? There's no way I've missed a dub yet.
What is Bitcoin at? What is Bitcoin at?
15,000. Just kidding. This isn't what a typical day of trading is like. I generally wake up around 5:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time because it gives me time to get ready before the market opens at 6:30 my time. I'm on the West Coast, so it opens really early for me. And when it comes to routine, all successful people have some kind of trading routine, but there's really no secret. Just find one that works for you. And if there is really any secret, I would say is discovering my evening routine. That felt way more life-changing to me than trying some, secret cold shower muscle milk mix. And I'll go over that routine later. So the first thing I do though, when I sit down and I trade, is I check the economic calendar. I'll link the one I use in the description, but it's important to know when there's key news that's going to happen. So as you're going and trading throughout the day, you know when there's potential for extreme volatility to show up or slow choppiness into that news appointment. The second thing I do is I look for key areas of support and resistance in the market, and I post them to my chat room. I like to trade reversals, and knowing where these important levels are helps me know what I should be focusing on for the day. All I will do is I will sit and wait until it gets to one of those levels, and then I'll use my entry checklist to make sure the patterns that show up for a potential reversal happen, and that's my trigger to get in on a trade. So just to show you what I'm looking at, here is oil futures on a 15-minute chart, and you can see the chart's just been kind of moving up pretty good, and right now we're at a really nice resistance level up here. We've made a couple bounces up here multiple times, and the market currently is bumping up into that level. So I'm going to look for a potential reversal to go down here. How I do that is I actually switch to a 1-minute chart. And so here's it on a 1-minute chart right now. And I'm looking for, it's up at this level. We have a really nice trend line here. I want to see this break, and then I'm going to look for a signal to get in. So that's just an update of what I'm looking at right now and how I start off every day. Pretty much I just look at these levels and wait for it to come up to that level, and then go to a smaller time frame chart and look for a reversal signal for it to go lower. And so here's a quick update. I wasn't able to record while I was entering in on this, but I waited for a break of this trend line, and then it kind of just chopped around here for a little bit, and then I looked at, it kind of had a bearish flag here, and so I waited for a break of that, a really nice candlestick, and then I'm basically betting that if we go back to the bigger picture, betting that it's going to give this up move back down. And so I'm just making money to the downside, and that's what I'm looking to go for here. So I've had some time to let this play out and set my camera up normally, and so I entered in right here pretty much at the break, and then had my stop originally here, and the market kind of chopped here for a while, almost actually came and knocked me out. It got really close to hitting max loss, but it didn't, and it sold off here again and kind of sat here for a while, and then made a nice move lower. And so how I'm looking to manage this is generally I like to go for 3 times my risk as a good target. And so today you can see down here, I have a risk reward tool right here that says if I'm going to enter in here and my stop loss is here, it helps me target $600 worth of risk. It tells me how many contracts I need to trade. This is what I use on NinjaTrader. And so it says at 3 times my risk, I'll be up about $1,700. And so for this trade, that's kind of what I'm targeting. And this aligns up really well, is if we look at the big picture again here, this is the 15-minute chart. And I think that we've made a nice move down here so far. We've captured most of that move we were looking for. And there's that kind of minor support level here. You can see it here on my other chart down here. And, just looking at some of the other levels, oil's kind of just going back and forth in this area. So I think there might just be an upper range here. Now, of course, we could break lower here, but it's better to target for my 3 times risk that I go for on average. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for here. Is I do have kind of a fluid management style. My stop loss here is about here. I've moved it down slowly. I originally moved it to break even once we kind of made this original move down here, and then I moved it to this pullback, and then there's kind of a downtrend line here that seems like it's broken now, and then I've moved it to here as well. And so originally I kind of went through the entry checklist pretty quick. And so again, to get in, my checklist that I look for is, well, one, we were up at that resistance level. This trend line was clearly broken after this nice bear move right here. And then a couple other things was looking for a nice catalyst that the market is showing a clear reversal, because when you're trading reversals, it can be really tricky to get in at the right time. And so the way I do that is, well, one, this uptrend is broken. That's a really good way to confirm. But also you can see these 3 candlesticks right here, the really big bearish red ones, they really show something else has changed. The market was just kind of slowly chugging higher, and then all of a sudden there's boom, a massive break here. And I think that really shows some loss of momentum to the upside, and that there's a bigger picture play in play. And so as I get closer to this, I'm just gonna watch how it reacts down here to this support level and see what happens kind of in real time. And I'm looking to get out of this trade here. As this breaks, I'm gonna move my stop over here to 3x just to capture that. I don't know what the market's gonna do here. It might just do a little pullback here and then keep going. And usually it'll, you know, I like to give it a little bit of wiggle room, but I also want to close up this trade here because I'm up 3x. It's at that support level. I don't want it to bounce really quickly here and have me potentially lose a lot of these profits. It's okay to kind of let things play out. And so it looks like it's gonna knock me out here. It was really close right there. Hopefully this will hold, because you know I do like this downtrend on a big picture. It does look really good. This is what I want to do. I want to follow my plan. I want to let things play out in my favor so that I can over time best capture the best risk reward. And so knocked me out there at about 3x, still a really good win. And so going back to entering into this trade, after it made that really nice break, it kind of sat here for a while and made what I like to call a bearish flag. It's just kind of a continuation pattern. And so once it kind of broke this low, that's when I entered in. I put my order right here, it broke below there, and I got in and put my stop loss right here. And so from there, you know, I have my risk reward tool. It told me to buy 3 contracts of oil's futures, because at that risk amount of entering in here and entering here, this risk right here would be close to $600, and that's what I like to target every time. And so then I just wait for things to play out, and here it got really close to knocking me out. That's okay. And then it kind of moved lower, and so you know, now I'm out of the trade. It sucks kind of getting out, especially if this looks like it's not going to make a quick bounce here. But again, I follow my strategy, and that's the biggest thing that you can do when you're trading. And so with that, I'm going to be done with trading for the day. I like to trade for just 90 minutes in one day, and that allows me to really focus on the charts, find the patterns, and then move on with my day, because not every day you're going to have a ton of possibilities. And I find over time trading can be really, really hard and draining, and the longer you trade, the more likely you are to make mistakes. The last thing that I do for my trading is my nighttime routine. That has honestly really, really changed my trading for the better. Yes, I have an alarm to go to bed. Having the exact same nighttime routine every day has changed my life. This is what I do. I take my watch and phone and put them in my office. I found being on my phone right before bed increases my chance of struggling to go to sleep. Then I start with a hot shower. What this does is it heats up my body, doing 2 things. First, it relaxes my muscles, so if I have anything that is tight or sore, it's less likely to make me uncomfortable while sleeping. Second, it causes my body to start trying to cool down. And research has shown that what this does is it starts your body producing melatonin, which is the hormone that helps make you go to sleep. The next big step is doing some stretching. After the hot shower, your muscles are loosened up, and being able to stretch will help them even more. I often have a tight lower back, so working that out before bed is important so it doesn't bother me in the middle of the night and interrupt my sleep. Sometimes my brain will not shut off at night, and I'll sit in bed for hours trying to go to sleep. I found that journaling before I go to bed as a brain dump helps me get my thoughts out on paper, so I'm not thinking about it when I'm trying to go to sleep. Also, I write my priorities and a rough schedule for the next day. This helps me go into the next day with a purpose. Then finally, I get into bed and read. I'll generally read some science fiction story, keeping it simple. I don't want to read something that is super interesting and stimulating my brain, because that will potentially wake me up. I'll read until I feel ready to fall asleep, which is generally 15 to 20 minutes. And then from there, I'll generally fall asleep right away.